Good morning, everybody. Now, another day, we have another police force in the United Kingdom acting in a tyrannical fashion on behalf of the LGB alphabet people. And this time it concerns a friend of mine who is Caroline Farrow, who often is appearing on the media as a commentator, but you might have been following her case because this case has been reported on widely and it's something that's ongoing. Now, about a year ago, the police came to her house, barged through the door and arrested her. And the charge was that she had said something which was a malicious communication. That was found actually to be not true. But they took her laptop and all her digital devices so that she wasn't able to communicate for a while. As far as I know, they've still got them and they haven't returned them. And they didn't need to arrest her because she'd actually done nothing wrong. They'd accused her of making some tweets or some social media comments that she said she hadn't even made. She then decided that she was going to sue the police in the civil courts for damages, for wrongful arrest and this kind of thing. And that's ongoing. But she's tweeted yesterday that what the Surrey police, where she lives, Surrey police are sort of acting seemingly on behalf of the LGBT community. They have decided now to take her to court again and try to get a stalking protection order put on her with just 2 days' notice of the court hearing. She tweeted some things about the case yesterday, or what's going on. So I'm just going to read this because it is very, very disturbing that this kind of thing is happening in England. This is the kind of thing you would expect to happen in North Korea or the Bolshevik Soviet Union back in the day, but not England, which is supposedly a free country where we have freedom of speech. And her supposed crime is misgendering somebody. No, I didn't know that was a crime. She called a man, I think, which is factually correct. And that shouldn't ever be questioned unless you are completely insane. But this seems to be what's going on. And now the police seem to be at war with with Caroline here, who is a Christian woman who just stands up for biological facts that a man is a man and a woman is a woman, and she's pro-life and all these good kind of things like I am, and what we stand for in the Heritage Party as well. Well, let me read this because it is quite disturbing. So she says here, and this is on Twitter, you can look up her Twitter feed and see it for yourself. On Monday afternoon, my solicitor received a bizarre communication from Surrey police solicitors. He thought it had to do with my civil claim against them. After some miscommunication, they sent through a bundle for a court hearing. I am due in court tomorrow morning. Well, I'm making this video on Thursday, the 8th of June. So that was yesterday. So the court hearing that she has to go to is today. The police asked that physical paperwork relating to the court hearing against me in 2 days was withheld from me. They wanted me to go to a court hearing without access to the accusations and alleged evidence. This should never be the case. If you're going to go to the courts, if you're called before the court, you should be able to know what the charges are against you so you can defend yourself. It's absolutely preposterous that the police are dragging someone before the courts for a non-crime, and they're not allowing the person that they're dragging into the courts the evidence to see, the papers to see what the evidence against them is, so they can't defend themselves properly. This is tyranny. This is police state, banana republic, area that we're in here. This is, dreadful. I'll carry on. I will be assigned an offender manager I will not be allowed to use any social media, social networking, gaming, dating sites without this person's written permission and having supplied them with usernames and passwords for all sites within 3 days. In addition, the following requirements are added. Number one, allow police officers to enter your registered address between the hours of 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. to conduct a risk assessment, monitor devices, and manage compliance of the order. 2. Provide your offender manager with any mobile, digital, or internet-enabled devices for examination, review, and monitoring purposes immediately upon request. You must also provide your offender manager with any PINs, passwords, or patterns. Examinations may be completed manually on scene or could entail them seizing your devices for examination by agencies contracted by the police for that purpose. Failing to disclose the existence of a device in your possession to your offender manager will count as a failure to comply with this condition. Number 3, re-register your home address every 12 months at a police station. 4. Provide your offender manager with a list of all mobile, digital, or internet-enabled devices that you own or have access to use. The list must be provided within 3 days of the order being granted or within 3 days of any changes. And the police officer says this: I believe that while presenting a significant interference with the respondent's privacy rights, it is an appropriate course of action in the circumstances. I consider that in accordance with paragraph 2 of Article 8 of the Human Rights Act, an interference by this force as a public authority is in accordance with the law and is necessary. What an absolute load of tosh. Tyrannical tosh by Surrey police. I mean, this is just appalling. I've never heard of anything like this. An innocent Christian woman who has done nothing wrong is being harassed by the police, and they're trying to stop her from communicating, from having access to the internet or mobile phones or anything without full police surveillance and monitoring, continuous surveillance and monitoring of all her communications and all her devices. This is what a police state will look like. And this is something that I think we all need to get mobilized to fight. All I can do here is put this out on social media, and I hope that people who are commentators, who have a larger platform than I do, will pick this up and write about it and just lay into Surrey police with everything they've got for this tyrannical attack on the freedom of speech of a private citizen. This should not be. She hasn't done anything wrong. Even if she had done something wrong, I mean, she hasn't been convicted of a crime. She hasn't committed a crime. But as I say, even if she had, how can someone then, you shouldn't, no one should be put under some order like this unless they've actually been convicted of a crime, convicted of stalking, which is what they say she's done, in a court of law. But she hasn't. I mean, I think maybe she got into a Twitter spat with someone a few years ago where both sides gave as good as they got, gave as good as each other, Twitter used to be like that. People used to, go at each other. It was a little bit of fun. But what happened with some people is they got into an argument. I'm not saying this happened in this case. But then one person who was giving as good as they got then turns around and said, I'm being harassed by some homophobe or transphobe or Islamophobe. And then they go and complain to the police. And, they've set a trap for somebody. And then the police, of course, go in and they're completely captured by these cultural Marxist groups and movements, as it seems, Surrey police have been done. I tweeted about them a couple of years ago when they seem to be more interested in dressing up in rainbows than catching criminals. But they will go and try to make out that some decent Christian woman is guilty of something on the basis of some LGB alphabet person is offended or says they're offended by something they've saying. This is a cultural war that we are in. Let make no mistake. And Surrey police are on the wrong side of it. Let's speak up against this police state tyranny. This order that they've asked the courts to give should be thrown out without a minute's question, without any question whatsoever, without, there shouldn't be, even any need to have any deliberation on this, because what they've accused her of is so preposterous. They should, sort of lay into the police and, tell them off for wasting the court's time, to be honest. And it seems also clearly that there's an element of revenge in this. She is taking the police to the civil courts, making a civil claim against them for wrongdoing. So what they've done is they've turned around and they've now laid another false claim against her, and this is police harassment, in my view. Okay, so stop it, Surrey police. Do your job. Catch burglars, catch rapists, catch paedophiles. Stop intimidating Christian women.